All right. You know what it is, it's your boy Linky Links, and we're here for another episode. I think it's episode 4.
Episode 4.
Deep.Organic.Phuckery. Again, I'm your boy Linky Links.
I'm Chris Strikes.
And this is Damion. I'm a man, though, not a boy.
Oh, my God. We have a special guest here with us today on this episode. The girls and... No, are the girls and Wheeler?
Yo, no.
We have my brother Wheeler inside the building.
Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
hold on. Wait. The intro should be a prominent furniture in the city of Toronto.
Furniture? Yo, stop this.
Yo,
Wow.
watch how you talk.
Yo, that big guy, the description I saw down here.
Watch how you
Wheeler.
talk to me when you talk about me to
Okay,
my
I'm sorry.
face.
I'm sorry.
Watch how you
My
talk to me when
bad.
you
I'm
talk
sorry,
about me to
bro.
my face.
Okay,
eh?
I'm sorry.
Save those
Put
things
some
for
respect
behind my
on
back.
his name, all right?
Save
What
those
I-
things for behind my back.
But what I mean, Wheeler is one of those guys in Toronto where if you don't see Wheeler, it's almost like something's missing. Wheeler's everywhere and do everything, and Wheeler's one of those guys from back in the day, some like 20 years ago. How old are you, bro? Like 50, 60?
See, this is the problem. You're all up in my business. That's the problem here. Like,
Anyways, welcome.
I think
welcome to
that's-
Deep.Organic.Phuckery.
I think that's one of the reasons why we wanted you here on the show. You know what I mean? Because you're a furniture. There's a furniture missing here. And
you see what I'm talking about? You see, I didn't come here to get insulted. I'll pick up the Hennessy and leave.
No.
Say this right now.
It's all love. It's all the love, bro.
All right,
It's all the love. But thank you for coming though, brother.
How are you, brother? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
How's the
Can't
weather?
complain. Weather's terrible, but
Speaking of weather, this smoke in Toronto. So, what do you guys think about the smoke? No, man, the smoke from.
Oh, I
from-
thought you said you're
from Montreal.
smoking now.
Oh
Okay.
my God, this
Sorry.
guy's not even hearing. The smoke from Montreal.
Is it coming from Montreal?
It's coming from Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah,
Coming
somewhere
from
over
Quebec.
there.
From Nova Scotia a little bit as well, too.
I want to know exactly what happened. You have any info on that?
So what's going on is right across Canada is very dry, a lot drier than normal. And there have been forest fires, more forest fires than usual. And the forest fires are burning more intensely than usual as well, too. So longer and more intensely, and the wind is blowing the smoke this way. So...
So how did he catch a fire though? Because it's so dry?
yeah, just because like it could be anything. It could be lightning. It could be people
Yeah,
camping,
it's
that,
forest
like
fires.
throwing cigarettes out. Like it could just be whatever type of reason. But because it's so dry or has been so dry, that's why these forest fires are so much more intense than they usually are.
And they have firefighters from the States, right? That's helping us.
From the States, from South Africa.
South Africa?
Yeah.
Firefighters
Actually,
from South Africa?
yeah.
So
there's
they jumped on a plane.
Yeah, this
from
is not
South
the first
Africa.
time. It's not the first time.
Why South Africa? This
I-
goes to African countries.
Honestly, I don't know, but I know that South African firefighters have come. This is that I recall, anyways, the third time within the last 5 years that they've come to help. So the firefighters in South Africa, they're in Alberta. They're helping with the Alberta fires because Alberta's crazy right now. So there was a video going around on YouTube, or not YouTube, Instagram, because when they came off the plane, they were doing like traditional song and dance type of thing, like their rituals, and so it made news and whatnot. So yeah, there's firefighters coming from as far as South Africa to help with the effort. So
That's dope.
and
That's dope.
and what that speaks to as well too. I mean, we would have probably had to have firefighters come from outside of Canada and U.S. anyways. But what that speaks to is a lot of the cutbacks that have been made by premiers, and we can speak to Doug Ford as well too, because we're in Ontario. But a lot of these premiers have cut back firefighting funding and firefighting resources and these kind of things. So now you have these big fires that are happening, and like they're under resourced essentially, right?
Yeah, but you see,
I
just
didn't- okay.
go ahead.
No, I was saying I wouldn't have even thought about that. I would have just thought that like the fires are so big in scale that like we just don't have enough. Even if we never cut back on resources and stuff, we
It's
just never had
kinda-
enough bodies to
Yeah, it's
combat
kind of like that.
something like that. So I would never even thought firefighters and stuff like.
Yeah, but the
thought
thing
that
is,
they were part of
I
that.
think to be fair to Doug Ford, one of the reasons why he cut back is because these guys are not really doing much. You know what I mean? Like you have like when you go to these fire stations and you see what they're doing. Like for
Shots
example,
fired.
I could speak from my perspective. So the job that I do, every now and then someone will pull the fire alarm, and then you'll have like 5-6 truck come, you know what I mean, and try to like, and they go and they walk through and they go back to the station, right? And if you're doing that for 10 years in a row, getting paid gazillion dollars an hour.
No, but
That's not what I'm. That's not
these
what
are
I'm saying.
forced firefighters, which are different than regular firefighters.
No, but I'm not saying. But how many times we've never. I've been in Toronto since 2005. I've never seen this, right? So this is like
we had this like 2 years ago when BC was on.
That's BC. That's what I'm saying though. But here, when you're talking about Ontario, for example,
yeah,
and you're talking about cutbacks, I could see where Doug Ford's coming from. Given that we don't have a big budget, we're saying, okay, where can we pull this money from? Right, and as a person in power, you're gonna try to skim off this top here, skim off the top there, and try to make sure that you make things work. But some things he cut that shouldn't have been cut, but I could see where the firefighter part is coming from.
No, you know where I'll push back on that is that because if you're listening to like let's call it, climate activists and people who are predicting climate disasters,
Right.
They would have told you this 10 years ago. They would have told you that like, yo, it's getting drier every summer. It's getting drier and drier, and we're at risk.
Doug Ford is a conservative person.
I know, but
they're not listening to that.
Yeah, but then that's why I would push back on thinking that, oh well, you know, we haven't really needed it before. We're not going to need it in future. When at the same time, it's like you have climate activists that are telling you this is going to happen.
Just so you know, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying I can see where Doug Ford's coming from. I can see where he's skimming off the top to put somewhere else.
Too much dryness not good.
So take a sip. Take a sip.
I will say this summer is gonna be this summer is gonna be crazy though. So like what we just saw, the smoke that we just saw, that's a warm up.
And a lot of people are putting it. A lot of people are putting it in apocalyptic. What do you call it? Apocalyptic. Thank you. Sir. Thank you. Apocalyptic. People are putting in apocalyptic terms, and they're saying that, oh my God, this is the end of the world, and these kind of things are happening, and you should wear your mask. And I'm like, oh my God, things happen, bro.
Yeah, no, the world needs a little correction.
No, the world needs some wetness.
A little correction, right? No,
the world needs some wetness.
Things are happening. That's just how it is.
Right.
So
it's too dry.
Too dry.
It's too
yeah,
dry.
I've never
some
seen
wetness.
nothing like
Lots
this.
of wetness.
Yeah, but
But
it is what it is. It's a little bit scary. You know, I'm looking right now and I can see the haze. You know what I mean? I can see it. And, you know, to be honest, I don't think about it on a daily basis, but we probably should think about it.
Can you actually smell it when you're down here?
I haven't smelled it.
I've never smelled it either.
No, I've smelled it. I've smelled not the last 2 days, but like Tuesday, like earlier in the week when it was like higher, Tuesday, Wednesday, I could smell it.
Jeez, I must have long COVID or something.
But you know what I thought was hilarious? People from Jamaica are like doing videos. No.
Oh. It's like, what? I was like, what? No. That smoke.
No, I seen a video. I seen a video with someone from Jamaica saying, you know, people in New York and Canada. First thing, people in Jamaica, Canada is a big country. There's a difference between Toronto and Edmonton.
What did they say?
People from Canada, you know, just take care of themselves and, you know, all the smoke. And I'm like, don't you have anything to do? Like,
No, but they don't know.
But what I'm saying is you're making videos with concern. An 8-year-old girl just got her throat slashed in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there are bigger concerns in Jamaica. Yes.
How we go from smoke to there?
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. When I saw the video, of the person being so concerned about people in Toronto and people in New York, I was like, I'm pretty sure you can make a video about things that are going on there.
Concerned. Leave the person.
I'm not saying they're not concerned, but what I'm saying is that should be the least of your concerns
No,
right now. You got bigger issues.
Bro, you cannot tell them that.
You got bigger fish to fry.
No, you eat the fish dry.
But I was like, wow, okay. You know what I mean? But anyways, I think the smoke thing going around right now in the city, I think it's deep, but it's also
organic
fuckery.
and it's fuckery.
It's fuckery.
It's all three.
It's unhealthy, bro. It's really unhealthy, and we need to really pay attention to it. You know, maybe try to wear a mask or something. I don't know if I.
No, I'm not wearing no mask. That PTSD. I ain't wearing no mask.
You say you're not over it yet.
Oh no, I'm not revisiting that at all. I'm going down with the ship this time.
I know you. I know you're going down.
Yo,
brother.
man, no, I'm not. Yo,
The man's not seeing you, bro. Man.
I saw him.
So you're going down with the ship, bro.
Yo, man.
Wheeler, come on, man. Wheeler, come on, Wheeler.
But anyway, so yeah. To segue, I mentioned the little girl with the throat slash. How is that possible, bro? How is that possible?
What's the story
it's,
behind
Yeah,
it?
I need some context.
I don't know.
A mental illness.
They found
is a real thing.
the little girl. I guess someone slashed her throat and threw out of a car or something, and they found her body. Yeah, they found her body, and it's funny. It's bad on us to not know her name, because I think in circumstances like these, we should be knowing their names. You know what I mean? Like victims like that is just, to me, when I hear that kind of story, it's surreal to me. And this ties into the whole thing where people are saying, Canada just did a little bit of an adjustment with their visa immigration process. And they've allowed about 5 Caribbean countries, I think Antigua, St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Trinidad, and St. Lucia. They allowed them to abolish the visa system, so now they can just use an ETA to come here, right? And
Enter
Jamaican
the
people,
country without a visa.
yeah, and Jamaican people are uptight about this. They're like, yo, I thought Canada loved Jamaica, and
Of course, they're uptight too.
but then
yeah,
when you
up
hear
close.
news like that, you know what I mean? Like, what
But
the
then
hell do you
Jamaica
think?
alone it happened.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that's how Canada's looking at it.
No, that's wrong.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Why?
but
I'm-
because guess what? Every other Caribbean country, murder happens.
Not like Jamaica.
Worse than Jamaica.
Not like
You know,
Jamaica.
because we're not.
Jamaica is second in the murder rate
You are not
overall.
following up Trinidad news, St. Lucia news. You
Trinidad's not nowhere close to Jamaica
Stop
yet.
this. Stop this.
Trinidad
right
is the
now.
fastest rising.
Stop
murder
this
rate.
right now.
Trinidad's the
Yes.
Trinidad's the fastest rising murder rate, but they're not on Jamaica's level. You see what I'm saying? Jamaica is second in the world.
They don't want to up a level. Them still.
But that's what Canada's looking
No,
at.
they're not
Wheeler,
looking at that.
what do you, as a Canadian born Jamaican, what do you
I'm
think?
not a kid. First of all, I wasn't born here, but whatever.
Where were you
Okay,
born?
but
Where
you're,
were you born?
Canadian.
Doesn't matter.
You're
No,
Canadian. Okay, you're
no.
Canadian Jamaican.
No,
That's the
hold on,
point.
Where were you
So
born?
yeah,
He's born in the States. I don't know why you don't want to say it.
You're born in the States?
yeah.
Oh, so you have your what?
He's
States,
tri-
Canadian
he's-
and
yeah.
Jamaican?
He's not Jamaican. He's not Jamaican. And don't talk about the Jamaican God mode. Stop it.
But anyways, Jamaican God mode's not for everybody. So don't worry.
Jamaican
about
what?
that. God mode. Don't worry.
Inside joke? Is it a
That's
black
not
t-shirt joke?
It's a black
that's
t-shirt
what I
joke.
am,
Okay.
So it don't matter.
Go ahead, my brother.
Here's my view on it. It's like you get those countries access without no visa. Like there's a lot of us here, Jamaicans.
Certain
So
kind of
that's
way.
what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you can't outwardly say certain things because, like, you really don't. You can't just outwardly come out and say certain things. So you do it by like hiding it in certain things. So not necessarily
Just being a politician.
Yeah, being a
That's what-
politician.
that's what that's
basically.
called.
So you can't necessarily say like we have enough of you here. We don't want anymore.
Right.
So what you do is like this is how I feel. I feel like okay, there's a lot of us Jamaicans here. Okay, let's not.
There's some.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us. Anyways,
I like
so now
You also have those people who are pretending to be Jamaicans or not.
what may have you. There's a lot, and we are very influential for a small island. We are very, very, very influential. So, without saying it out loud, like, yo, we have enough of you guys here. We'll give some concessions to the other ones around you that we think are, less of a problem. I don't want to use the word problem.
Less of a problem.
Okay, who have more or less a less desire to come here.
How come nobody else is laughing?
Yeah, because you're the only one that finds a joke.
exactly.
We're real yard man. So I'm not joking about no yard
Really
man
hard,
thing.
man. Chris Jack.
So therefore, without saying it out loud, it's like, okay, I'll give these guys a way to get here that's less difficult. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I think Somalia is not even on that list either.
Somalia? No. What,
I'm
about
just saying.
these-
They
No,
have
no,
a
no,
way
okay.
of saying like, we have enough of you guys now. You guys had your opportunity.
There's no doubt.
You took full advantage
There-
of it.
there's no-
Now,
Okay, I see where you're going with the argument. There's no doubt that they're trying to sort out the numbers. Of course, they're trying to do that. But my question is, at what point do we take responsibility as Jamaicans? You see what I'm saying?
responsibility of
So,
what?
because Jamaican people are uptight that, oh my God, I can't believe Canada didn't consider us for the
not
non-visa.
Why not? We're a part of the
It's
English
uptight.
Commonwealth. We like people. We
Right,
Canadians
but then,
love Jamaica.
but then,
Jamaicans love Canadian.
but then
Why
you look
wouldn't I
at, but then
take
you
it
look at,
personal?
then you look at the way the city is going, the city of Toronto, and I can speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else, and I'm gonna speak for myself. I go to a dancehall party. I do not feel safe. Right? I go to a dancehall. I'm not saying dancehall parties are not safe. I'm telling you how I feel. Right?
Why do you go there?
What? Because it's my culture.
Don't
I
be-
want to be there.
No, don't.
I want to be.
don't
I love
be serious,
dancehall
don't be.
music. I love reggae music. I love the culture. I love everything. But we just put up with some of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. Like there's so many things that goes on in a dancehall party that don't go on anywhere else because people come there and some of the people are not even Jamaican people. They just come here to keep up the nonsense because they know nobody's gonna do anything about it. You see what I'm saying? Something happens, for one, nobody wants to be an informer, so nobody's gonna talk. So it's gonna keep happening, and it's been happening over the years, and we don't do anything about it. And then now what's happening is that dancehall parties cannot find a space to do the dancehall party. As soon as you go to a banquet hall member, owner, and say, "Hey, I want to do a party," they're, okay, yeah, come. What kind of music is it? Dancehall. That date is not available, and all the.
But why
That's
do they turn them back? It's not because
because of the reputation of the parties.
What kind of reputation? Smoking?
Bad reputation. Jamaican.
Smoking.
It's smoking. It's the potential for someone to get murdered.
Any show-
Nobody
any show-
wants. Nobody. The last
show
thing a
that
man
happens.
wants.
But
The
that's-
last thing a man wants is for his banquet hall that he's doing 1,000 weddings per week to be shut down for 2-3 weeks for investigation because somebody got murdered.
But that
And
is
we
anything
are not
though.
putting measures in place to make. Can't just be blaming outside forces. And I think for far too long we've been just riding the wave and riding the wave that like we're not doing anything. People just looking at us in a bad way. Reputation is created both ways. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying Jamaican people are bad because I'm Jamaican and I don't consider myself bad at all.
No, that's not up to you. Leave it up to us for tell you if you're bad.
Okay, but I don't care what you think.
Oh, so the people don't care what you would think.
But that's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I have to deal. I have to deal
You
with
know
the
what I mean?
consequences.
You know what I mean?
But I have to
If you
deal.
wanna look for it, what?
But I have to deal. No, but hold on. But I have to. I would love to know what you think he just said.
Oh.
You're jumping up, like,
No,
bro.
you would like to know.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying though is,
Yeah.
I'm prepared to deal with the consequences. If I'm acting a certain way and I don't care what you think, I must be prepared in my head to deal with the consequences. A lot of times, Jamaican people, we want to act a certain kind of way, do certain kind of things, but we are not prepared to deal with the consequences. Like I remember one time when the pasta thing was happening, when people were dancing on their heads and man was jumping on tree, and when people define Jamaica that way, people used to get upset, and I'm like, what are you getting upset for?
But
That's
no
what
one-
you do. You
but
set
no
the
one has
precedence.
defined Jamaica that way, bro.
A lot of people, especially people from other islands, used to say Jamaica is just pasa.
Yeah, but
and
that doesn't mean they're right, bro. That's
I'm
just
not
their
saying
perception.
I'm not saying they're right. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is people used to define Jamaica that way. People
Yes.
used to say Jamaicans are that kind of people, which we're not. Obviously, we're not. But what I'm saying is people used to say that because we do it. And at no point did we think, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. If you don't like people
So
saying,
we shouldn't do that because of they because they don't like it.
Yeah.
what I'm saying is at no point were we thinking that. I'm
Of
not saying we
course.
shouldn't do anything or should do anything. What I'm saying is at some point we have to take responsibility for the things that we do. That's all
But-
I'm saying.
but in
And
that sense-
I don't think we're what, you're not understanding what I'm saying? You're not hearing English?
Okay.
Yes, I am actually.
But what do you mean in what sense? In the sense that we're doing things, right? And then when people reflect the things that we're doing, we get offended.
It's
And I gave an example of when people used to do the pasa thing and dance
Yes.
and people say, oh, Jamaica is a pasa country. What I'm saying to you is that people get offended by that. I'm like, but you do that.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
I
Yeah,
think
but-
they're not getting
Go ahead,
offended.
Chris. Attack him.
Yeah, I think they're
Get
not
him,
getting
Chris.
offended by the fact that they're saying, "Oh, you're a pasa country." I think they're getting offended that like that's the one thing you're focusing on. Like the pasa pasa is like a small piece of the culture. It's a
Right,
small,
but
it's a small element of what.
But that's
we do.
what we are as human beings. That's what people do. If people, okay, you could be. No, let's hold on. Let me. If you could be the best person ever.
You realize you cut me off though, and you're like,
yeah.
hold on, but I'll let you go ahead. I just want to point that out because you need to take responsibility for that.
Yeah,
No. I'm taking responsibility. I can fully deal with the consequences. You can cut me off whenever you're ready. I'm okay with that. I would not take it personally. I promise you.
But
I would just say it's fuckery, but I wouldn't take it personally.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying though, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm not real. Sorry. But what I'm saying though is, if you, Chris, you're the best person ever. You're kind. You take care of the youth. You do what you're supposed to be doing, right? But you bleach your skin. You know what people are gonna say?
Yeah, that you bleach.
Exactly. That's just how people are. So because we know this, what we have to do, we have to take into consideration our actions. And when people say certain things based on what you do, you can't now complain that, oh my God, you're only taking this one thing. Of course they are. That's just how people are.
But
you have to know that. I'm not saying
But why
people
should
are
we
right
take
to be,
responsibility for other people's ignorance? Because that's what I'm hearing.
but
right
that's
now.
what
Exactly.
happens all the time. That's-
You
No.
cannot force people. Okay, see, it's the pasa pasa thing that just say we're using that as that
Right.
took off.
Right.
You cannot force people to be interested in something else. You cannot give them like, okay, that's a part of that's something that we do as Jamaicans, a pasa pasa thing. That is what they all gravitated to because it's crazy. This, that, it gets, it gets posted on
Goes
the internet.
viral,
right?
It goes viral. It gets out of
Right.
control. That is not our fault. That is, and you cannot control that. If that's what people are drawn to, that's what they're drawn to.
But I'm not saying people should
Even
control
if-
it.
Even if it's just like, and then people say that's how the country is when it's not. It's like you show Africa and you show kids with flies on their face all the damn time, and then when you go there, you're like, wait a minute, I've never seen this. This is a developed country. There's all kinds of stuff. I've never seen this part.
Right.
And then if you were to show California Skid Row where there's
Right.
mad homelessness, if you
Right.
showed that
Yeah.
all the time, that's what you would think California was.
Right.
So but it's not our fault that is what like people are attracted
But
to,
if-
and then now.
But what I'm saying, if you take Skid Row,
yeah,
if someone was to see Skid Row and then they were to say, oh, California is nasty because they have Skid Row.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying the person's perception of California is correct, but what I'm saying is California has Skid Row. It is
Yes.
a fact.
yes,
So what if I'm not going to be offended as a Californian because there is Skid Row. But what I would say is that yes, there's Skid Row, but there's also
Let me
You're
specify.
gonna
Let
take
me.
it- no,
Sunset
you're gonna
Boulevard.
Take it
There's
personal
also-
that if every minute that is what is coming.
Exactly.
But-
And-
but
and
if-
let's
but
let's
the
let's
thing-
zero
but
in
the
on that
thing is-
point. Hold on.
but
Let's
the
zero
thing-
in on that point. That Skid Row point, because Skid Row is specific to LA. So
Right.
if you live in San Francisco, if you live in Sacramento,
Right.
if you live in Baker, California,
right.
or wherever else
Right.
that doesn't have anything to do with like your living environment of Skid Row
Right.
existing in a specific part of downtown LA.
Right.
Like, and let's say Californians need visas to participate in whatever just because Skid Row exists and you live in Baker, California, you're gonna be vexed.
You're gonna be
Just
vexed,
like
no matter what.
so the same thing with a lot of Jamaicans. Sure, there's a lot of crime in Jamaica, but there's also a lot of churches in Jamaica. There's a lot of great people in Jamaica,
Right.
and I'm not saying that church and religion automatically makes you a good person, but what I mean by that is that people are trying to do the good
good
thing.
abiding citizens.
People-
But I'm
you know
not
what I mean?
saying
So-
no. But you must say I'm not saying people are right to be saying that. What I'm saying is, if you know that it's affecting you to the point where Canada, for example, can say things like, "I'm gonna give St. Kitts, St. Lucia, and these countries visa-less entry to my country, but not you." One of the things that you could look at is, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Internalize it, and then now the people who are not doing the foolishness, they should now come together and try to make sure that the foolishness that's bringing down our perception is quelled, because we don't do enough of that. People in Jamaica, yes, there's a lot of crime and violence, but how many people are doing something about it? A lot of people in Jamaica know the people who are doing the crime and violence, but you know what's happening? Nobody's doing anything about it. We're okay. So the same people who are not involved are being painted with the broad brush, and they're okay with it. because of the
Oh, you
reputation.
know they're okay with it. though.
Because they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah,
Everybody knows the guy who cut the.
That doesn't mean that they're okay
You
with
gotta
it.
live-
And,
yeah.
and
But
You
what I'm
gotta
saying,
live
what
there.
I'm,
To-
but what
to
I'm saying,
specify it on an even
but
more
what I-
economic
but
level.
what I'm
to-
saying
hold
is
on,
this is what
it's
I'm
my
saying.
turn to cut you off now.
But-
Hold on.
Okay,
To
go
specify
ahead.
it
Go ahead.
on an even more economic level, because right now we're talking about individual responsibility and violence and all that stuff,
Right.
which is a part of it. But on a more economic level, if Canada as a country had more to gain from Jamaica,
Right.
there wouldn't be no visa requirement no matter crime, because look at the motherfucking United States.
Right.
Don't tell me about crime in Jamaica when motherfucking Buffalo, mans could fucking ride their bike to Buffalo from right here,
Right.
outside of where I'm looking at. I'm not getting mad at you. I'm just getting pumped.
But I don't even understand what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is like, okay, it like you're talking about Jamaicans needing to take responsibility for the crime that is happening there
Yes.
in order for them to be able to, specifically in this example, benefit
Right.
from visa-less entry to Canada
No,
and the other.
that's an example.
It's an example, but
Right.
what I'm saying is like, if we want to specify it to that, right? Because it's not about like I think maybe we're talking about multiple things here, because if the example here is that, you know, Jamaicans need to take responsibility for the violence that's been going on and whatnot, in order to have more favorability or a less negative reputation.
Right.
Like I said, if Canada as a country had more to gain from Jamaica economically, that visa requirement wouldn't be in place. In the way that we have so much to gain from the United States economically, and even Mexico economically, and those two places are crazy with crime, and you can say Mexico is crazy with crime, but in certain pockets, right? Same thing with Jamaica, crazy with crime, but in certain pockets. United States, crazy with crime in certain.
But
many
Chris,
pockets.
if you're doing a comparison, you're completely off topic, because this is why you're off topic. Jamaica is ranked number 2 in the world when it comes to murder rates, right?
per capita.
But you can. That's how they do these things per capita. That's how they do these things per capita. So, but what I'm saying is, for a country with 2.8 million people, right, to be second in the world, or second or third, it's up there. It's top 5 for sure.
Those numbers are-
That's high. U.S. If you're gonna talk about crime, I wasn't really narrowing it down to crime. I was just using it as an example. But if you're gonna narrow it down to crime, you're still losing the argument, because Jamaica is still higher than U.S. when it comes to the most heinous kind of crime, which is murder.
Yeah,
So if Canada wants to strictly say, you know what, get off the top 10, and then I'll consider you. They can even say that, because
Yeah,
U.S. is way lower than.
But
How
what
is
I'm saying
U.S.
is- what I'm
how
saying
is
is-
U.S. they have the most heinous serial killers in the world? How are they worse on a lower level when it comes to murder rate than Jamaica? How? That should not be.
Because it's a numbers game.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
It's a number
but
game.
per capita, Jamaica is up there. It's not
Sure.
supposed to be up there. The loving island that I grew up on should not be up there. And the
Sure.
reason why it's up there is because we're not doing enough to quell this nonsense.
Who is we?
The Jamaican people, it's our responsibility.
But remember,
starts with us.
Remember.
Why are we not taking responsibility?
No, it starts with the head. not with the
Remember.
What head? What head does it
leader.
start with?
The leader of the country. I mean, what head?
How does it start with the leader? How?
Put in place better things for the youth. Some who grew up, some never grew up. all in
First
life.
of all, if everybody in Jamaica knows the people that were killing people and nobody talks,
Bro.
how is leader gonna help you to do
Lead
that?
Listen to me, man. It
what's the
starts
difference
from the youths, bro.
Listen,
It starts
Start from
the
what youths?
I mean,
It
things
starts
that be-
it starts from the community.
all right. I would say that you guys, even above the murder rate, I would say that, like, all right.
Say what you say.
No, our government is very liberal and very woke liberal.
What government?
Like our
Canada?
Canadian federal government and all
Canadian
that.
government is
I'm,
idiot.
I'm just showing you, idiot. And
Don't come
we-
for me. I'm sorry.
We
I'm
don't
sorry.
adopt to a lot of the philosophies as Jamaican, as that country, when it comes to certain issues. On top of the murder rate, on top of certain things, we don't really comply with certain things. Like certain flags cannot get raised in yard.
In Jamaica?
Yeah, certain flags cannot
Like the
get
pride,
raised. Those kind
you
of
can
things-
say it. You can say
Yeah,
it.
those kind of things we don't really mess with like that.
Yeah,
So
it's there too.
that is-
Just so you know, it's there
You have to
too.
remember that is a big factor too right now in this day and age. Murder and all of that, yes, I get it. Places in like Mexico and
point.
stuff,
So you're
stuff
saying,
like that.
so you're
We
saying
do
that
not
Jamaica,
align
so you're saying that because Jamaica's not aligning with the Canadian narrative.
with a lot of the stuff.
That's
here.
why they're not
Like,
doing that?
I'm just saying, like, it would be more.
Maybe.
it would be.
It's a possibility.
It's a, like, I would be more willing to give these guys a easier path here than you guys, because you guys are less compliant. You guys will be less compliant, less
you come in the
agreeable
country, probably
than
shoot
these guys
whatever.
right here on certain issues that we want to push forward.
Yo.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
Or-
I see where you're
I'm
going
not
with.
saying that-
I see,
I'm not
and
saying
I'm
that-
sure there are many variables. I'm
But
sure there are
yes,
many
I'm not
variables.
saying
That could
that's
be one of
a
the variables.
major part, but like you have to add that.
That's a
Yeah,
good
no,
point. It's a good point.
And,
It's a good
and that's what I'm
point.
saying. There's
It's
a
good
lot
point.
of different,
Yeah,
like we're talking about different, because you use this example of visas,
Yes.
it involves all these other variables, like the economics, like, you know, narrative and whatnot. So it's in tying it to visas and these things of immigration, it opens the door for other topics to be included
It does.
into this.
It does.
It's
It does.
easier to
It
just
does.
say, you know what? Just leave them off.
And
the
I
list.
don't.
It really
Yeah,
matter.
and I don't want
There's
people
a
to
lot of
misunderstand.
them here to, like, we can do it.
Yeah, and I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, and I've always been saying this, I think us as Jamaicans need to take more responsibility for what happens in our community. And I don't think we are. I think we're thinking we're fine and people are just fighting against us. And I don't think people are fighting against us because some of the factors that you're mentioning, it can be true. But it's also true where I see where we can do better and we're not doing better. And this can be a whole show by itself, right? But in any regards, I think the Canadian leaving off the Jamaican people off the visa thing, I think that's deep, bro. That's deep.
I would like to know, like, the real reason why.
They'll never give you that.
I know.
They'll
you'll
never give you
get
that.
I
it,
think
but
that's fuckery.
if somebody can, like, squeeze in just like this is the reason
Right.
why that this happened, I would love to know, like, the real.
Right.
How did you come to that conclusion? Like, you know, what were the factors that, like, led to you leaving
Yeah.
us off this list? I just
And I
like to know
guarantee
those
you,
kind
I
of-
guarantee you, the reputation, the violent reputation, and
is a part of it.
100% is a big part of
Is
it.
a big-
I think the reputation is a surface level reason for it, but I think again, like when you look at, so for example, right, and maybe you can say a little bit of the reason for this is that because it's more difficult for Jamaicans to get to Africa, anywhere in Africa, versus Jamaicans to come to North America, specifically Canada and the U.S., right? But I'll use this example. A lot of African countries are economically reaching out to the Caribbean and putting in these agreements in place of visa-less travel. That's one of the reasons why I got my Jamaican passport, was less so that I can get into Jamaica as a citizen, but more so I can go to Ghana without needing a visa. Whereas on a Canadian passport, I need a visa to go to Ghana, right? So this is what I mean by these economic things where many of these countries in Africa are seeing a historical, a cultural, they're seeing these economic bridges that can be built with the Caribbean, because it's not just with Jamaica, but it's many Caribbean countries. They're seeing these economic bridges that can be built, whereas Canada isn't looking at it like that. Canada's looking for economic bridges elsewhere, like Ukraine and Syria and wherever else, like, you know what I mean? And so that's where, like, the topic of, like, because what you really want to talk about is Jamaicans taking accountability for the crisis state that the country is in right now, which
No,
no,
that's not what I want Jamaicans to take responsibility for the part of the reputation that we can control.
sure,
Not
but
the
like
crisis state. I don't
sure
care about that.
Okay, sure, but like, again, that's kind of perspective, because if Canada had more economic vision, let's call it, or opportunity with Jamaica, we wouldn't be on that list.
That's what you're thinking, which you might be right, but that's not what I'm thinking. Bigger than that. I'm thinking, okay, take Canada out of the picture. Take Canada and their visa situation out of the picture. I'm talking about just overall, just the way people see us. A part of the way people see us is the way we behave, and I'm saying,
well, how come people don't see us as track stars?
Say again.
People
do
don't see us as
track
track stars.
When I was in 100%. When I was in university,
No,
when
bro.
I was in, but you guys are not. You're not in the environment to say that kind of stuff. When I was in university, people. But what I mean by that.
So our experiences.
No, listen. No. But okay. What I mean is, where people need to recruit for track, you guys are not in those environments.
yeah.
So how are you going to see that? When I was in university coming up, the fact that I mentioned Jamaican, right off the bat, they thought I was fast. You see what I'm saying? They and that's a reputation, and that's because of the track success that we've had, and that's a good thing. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, what I'm saying is, the same way we build that good reputation is the same way we build bad reputations. And if we are taking responsibility for the Usain Bolts and the good reputation that we have, we also should take responsibility for the bad reputations that we have. We do have bad reputations that we can control. Now, if we control all the things that are controllable, and then people still view a certain kind of thing, then we can't. I don't care what you think at that point. But what I'm saying is, at what point are we going to really look into it and say, you know what? Let's do the best that we can. And I don't think we are. That's my point. Now, you guys think we are. Okay, that's fine. But I'm just saying I don't think we are.
No, it's not. It's not that I think we're doing the best that we can, because obviously there's always room to improve. Great room to improve. It's just more what I was saying earlier is that using the visa example was like opened up the possibility to talk about like the greater economic picture, which I think was not the best approach.
But I'm not talking about economic picture. You're talking about that. What I'm saying, and you might be right. That might be Canada's motivation to be doing that. But I don't know that. What I'm talking about is something different. I'm talking about from the social aspect. You see what I'm saying? Us as Jamaicans, there are things that we can do, especially being here in Toronto, that we can control, that we're not controlling. We're just lax about it. And it's really affecting us. I just mentioned the dancehall thing. Dancehall parties can be done way better than the way they're being done. They're not safe. And we can do better things to ensure safety. A huge concern in the dancehall space is safety. You see what I'm saying? And we can do better. Securing all the dancehall parties. And all the security guards know everybody. So all the men with the gun, them come in same way. You see what I'm saying? And that could be a perfect segue into what I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys want to bring up your topics first, because, you know, we've been on the Jamaica thing for a while. But I kind of want to, the violence part of it is something I wanted to touch on with my deep topic. So I don't know if you want me to
segue. No, I'd say segue. My topic is fun, so we should probably end on my topic. My topic is fun. You'll understand what I mean when I get there.
So, Linky, you want to talk about your fucker topic first or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Every week, I have a like a fucker topic, you know what I mean? So, this, well, candy, like. So,
yo, can I? I'm not cutting you, but like, the topic you brought up last week almost got me in trouble with my girlfriend. That's how fuckery it was. What was that? That's how fuckery it was.
What topic was that?
I guess it's gonna get
What topic was that?
Get you to some more fuckery now.
So you brought a great topic.
All right, so the fuckery topic, I spoke about it on Saturday morning on the radio, and actually it was a girl that called in and had a conversation with me about this one, and I need you guys' honest opinion. Big guy, we don't want to sugarcoat nothing. Not because you're girl, you get that trouble. None of my boss now sugarcoat nothing. I keep it real. All right, we're all men here. Our producer is a female. No disrespect to her, but
are we men or males?
As I was saying, all right, let me put it this way. Does it matter the amount of bodies a female have on her for you to take it serious?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
You don't. So this is the question that was asked.
Define bodies. Some people might not know what you're talking about.
That means, ladies, if you sleep with more than like 10 men before you're 25. So the argument was like from 16 to 25, and she said to me, if a lady sleeps with 10 men from 16 to 25, nothing is wrong with that. So if a guy sleeps with 10 female from 16 to 25, we praise him. But if a girl sleeps with 10 men from 16, we consider her a dog. 16 to 25. She said her response was that lady's experience now.
That's one way to look at it.
So what's the question?
Yo, big guy, I get smaller.
That's a good whole.
So the question is, would you, us here, as big guys say, male or men, look down on a female for having countless, well, not countless, but a high number of bodies on them but at a certain age, even past 25? And what is considered a good... Yeah, but I get hot. We're going to take it away. I want to hear you.
No, go.
You don't listen to me. Listen to me. No, you go. Go ahead. No, I gotta gather. I
Yo,
gather my thoughts.
but
in
what I
before
don't
say anything
because I get
crazy.
smaller while I could.
Yeah,
So-
before I get crazy.
So personally, so on a personal level,
Yeah.
I don't want my girl to have a lot of bodies on her. You see what I'm saying?
For
But
what reason? Let's get into that first.
because, so to get into the anatomy of it, so a woman takes an object.
Yo, this is why me and this no, honestly, this is why me and this man kick off all the time. Yo, I speak that everybody's gonna know what's going on.
Yeah,
you wanna
bro.
come with some
objective side
university
of it.
college,
No,
like
yeah,
it's
professor,
not even-
like
not
yo,
like-
man, nobody is talking about this. Who is telling you about? Oh, yeah, first of all, object enters a woman. I don't give a shit
Bruh.
about that. Listen, man.
But bro, you
If
had
fuck
your
much,
chance.
man, yo,
You
I'm a
had
man
your
that-
chance.
all right,
You
no.
had your chance to go, and you gave
Let
it to
tell you,
me.
and I gave it to you, and you dropped the baton.
that-
No, you
no,
didn't.
no, That never sound right. That never sound right. You gave it to
Pause,
him.
pause,
No,
pause,
no, no,
pause,
no, no,
pause,
no,
pause,
no,
pause,
no,
pause. You
no,
didn't give.
no,
Hey, pause, pause, pause. Listen,
Really, you
listen.
said you gave it to him?
No, I never said that.
Yo, pause. Okay. Let me talk, bro.
All right, go ahead.
So, again, I would want my girl having a lot of bodies on her. I think over 10 bodies is a lot.
What's the minimum for you? Cut off rate.
I don't have a cutoff. It depends on the person.
Okay.
So I mean, like, because you have some people who, they're just really naive and they go into a situation not understanding what's going on, and then they have sex and it doesn't work out, and then they go move on to the next person. So I'm like, okay, fine. But you have some people who are deliberately doing that.
No,
That's what they do.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? That's what
yeah,
they do. They go out there and they kill things. So it depends on the person. But I think once you start going, I don't ask people their body count.
Right.
But if someone was to reveal 25, I'd be looking side-eyed, like, okay.
Like,
You've been
say
around
you're in
the
a
block.
relationship and you guys having an open conversation. Like, to be honest. And she said, you know what, babes?
How
My
long would...
first 8 years, I think I had like 13, 14 bodies on me.
That's a lot.
You're going to be like,
But I wouldn't, depending on who... If we're in a relationship, that means I like her and she has qualities that I desire. So it probably wouldn't matter at that point. It is what it is. I already sampled and it's good enough for me. So I'd be okay with that. But if I was to speak from an objective lens, I think a woman would be... The reason why women are viewed in the way they're viewed based on the body count is because, as I was saying earlier, and please do not interrupt me,
say it properly.
for a man, it's more of a giving thing. For a woman, it's more of a receiving thing. So the way we perceive it is, things is going inside you and all
Woman
that.
take only per cock.
So it might affect,
Okay.
right? The
And it might
the
kind
effectiveness,
of wear and tear.
the effectiveness, wear and tear,
Right.
the depreciation
Yeah.
of the
Value of the property.
of the property.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes, my brother.
and because of that, people look at it like, okay, you're doing too much. Right. For a man, it's just, you're not really affecting anything.
So
no,
as
you
a-
could get diseases,
Yeah.
but put that aside. You're not really doing anything. You're not making you any bigger. It's just,
So from a man perspective, a man has numerous bodies on him. Like,
and I'm not saying that's right, but what
You're
I'm
not
saying
saying
is
it's wrong
that's
either.
why we look at it that way.
but it's not wrong either, right?
Objectively,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Body count is body count. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to think the woman having 15 body count on her is wrong, objectively, you have to say the man is wrong too. That's just what it is.
Wheeler, we all right?
Listen to me.
You all right, Wheeler?
Yeah, I'm okay. Let me tell you something. Okay, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I'm gonna just tell you from the jump. All right, the Hennessy's getting to me now.
Right.
Let me put it strong. All right.
Let the truth come out.
Body count matters, especially to a man like me. All right.
Right.
Listen
Body
to
count-
who's talking.
Body count doesn't matter if I don't give a fuck about
Yeah,
you.
if you're not taking
if
it
I don't
serious.
if I don't care about you, it doesn't really matter to me. Could care less.
Right.
If I'm taking you seriously, body count matters. I am outside. I am not going to be the guy that's walking down the street or walking down the aisle with the girl that everybody slapped. Okay, there is
You're not gonna wipe
no.
them. You're not gonna
So
wipe
how
them.
many, what's the body count that you can't deal
I
with?
don't give a damn. I don't know. But if one too many men know her, and can tell me about her. And
Three.
You.
Let's say 3 men that
Why
you
don't
know.
you move to another city then?
You signed your own death certificate.
So 3 men that you know.
Yeah, that's too much for me. And it has to be okay.
So what about 3 women that you know that
Hold
she
on.
knows?
Three men. That's not a problem. Okay, let me tell you. I'm sorry. What do you mean? If the roles
The
are
views
reversed,
on
is
the
what you're telling
show.
me? If the roles were reversed, is what you're telling me?
Yes.
If she had 3 women that I agrees,
That you slapped.
that I slapped, and too bad, you better know what you're up against. That's it. You saw those 3.
That's
You
very-
know, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. It's been like that since the beginning of time. It's not gonna change anytime soon. Good luck on trying to think. My best advice to you women is try to adapt. Okay, that's it. It ain't gonna change.
And suppose you tell her that it's 5, but you don't know those 5 guys.
No, I'm good. 5 is okay. I'm not delusional either. It's like obviously you're gonna have sex. Like
But a comparison, five guys you don't know or 5 guys you know.
No, 5 guys I do know. No, I can't do that.
Okay.
5 guys I don't know. Go about your. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, come over here. No problem.
So why don't you move to, if you see a girl, you like her, but like 5 men's that you know
Slapped it. No,
slapped
too
it,
bad for
then
her.
you have to move to another
breeze.
city. Why you
No, I
say
don't have
move
to
to
move to another city. This is what I don't understand with women. Everybody thinks they're special. You basically look like this one here, that looks like this one here, that looks like this one here. If you slept with 5 men that I know and I don't, it's okay. I never got it. I don't know what I'm missing. It's okay. Go about your business. She's over here. She's probably, you're 1A, 1B. It don't matter. I'll talk to you instead. It's okay. You don't know you don't know nobody. You didn't slap nobody. I know. No problem. Okay, no problem. Good.
But you know why would you slap a girl that has numerous bodies on her, but you won't even talk to a girl or take a girl serious that have numerous bodies? Like you take a girl, you slap her, but you just won't take her serious.
Because
so you want to add to the body count.
No,
that's not right.
Women control.
That's not right.
Women control access to sex. She does not have to take me on. Do you understand? If I go and forcefully do a thing to her, you know what that's called.
Right.
You control access to sex. So you have complete control of how
That's
many
a cop-out.
men you let. No,
That's a cop-out.
This is not.
You're not answering the question.
These guys are dangerous.
You're not answering the question.
I'm getting
You're not
there.
answering the question.
Men like this man's dangerous.
You're
man.
jumping around.
This is the guy that lets the whole foolishness go on.
You're jumping
So,
around.
yes.
Answer the
What
question.
Did he ask me? What did he ask me? Since you know.
The
what
question.
Did he ask me?
I was right here with you.
Go ahead. Yeah, go.
No.
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead,
you
answer
don't
the
remember.
question.
You
Answer
just
the
jumped
question.
in.
Answer
You
the
didn't let me
question.
get to my
I
point.
fully
You see,
remember.
Man like him is dangerous. He keeps the things going. This guy's crazy, man.
Wheeler,
Where's the camera?
Wheeler,
Right
if you
here.
can't,
Ladies, let me tell you something. Don't listen to this guy. I'm gonna give you the meats and potatoes of the thing. I'm not gonna sugarcoat the thing for you.
Yes.
This guy's dangerous, eh? He's here to spare feelings. I'm not. I'm gonna tell you the real deal, holy.
you cannot say stuff like you would slap it, but you wouldn't date her.
Why not?
And you're justifying
This
it.
is what everybody does. I'm not telling you that it's fair.
And
or
you're
it's
saying,
right.
I know you're
This
saying
is the way of the world.
she has the choice
Oh,
to
gosh,
say yes or
somebody
no.
talking, the phone's-
She has a choice.
Chris, what's your take, brother? Without you getting in trouble. What's your take?
Honestly, I don't care, and
You don't care about the body count?
I don't care about the body count. Like, I mean, if it's like 1,000 guys,
We're talking about wifey for lifey, you know.
If it's a ridiculous number, like 1,000 guys, I'll probably feel away.
1,000 guys.
It's not even realistic. Come with a number that's realistic.
But
Indirect.
here's
What he said, he doesn't care.
Here's my real point on this, because oftentimes the body count sounds high when you just hear the number, but when you do the mathematics and you break it down, you're like, oh, that's not so bad. So
That's 1 man a year.
Exactly, because when you said 16 to 25 and 10 men in that time, that's basically 1 man a year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's terrible.
That is still terrible.
Not to me.
Let me
Not
tell
to
you
me.
something.
Not to me.
I'm gonna tell you, if you take the 1 man a year, that means your pussy quality is terrible because ain't nobody's willing to stay.
Well, it
10
has,
man in
What if
6
it's
years,
10
more than
I
this?
What if it's
don't-
still
just be more.
small guys? What if it's 10 small guys though?
No, but
What?
hold the thing. Hold
What
on,
does that
hold
matter?
on. Hold on. So Wheeler. So you said you know, it like the pussy's terrible. No man wants to stay. But hold on. What if it's the girl that doesn't want to be with the man? What if it's the girl that went to the man, and was like, oh, it started off good in the beginning, but then now this man's a idiot. You know what I mean? So you're not looking at it from that point of view.
16 to 25, one man a year. Every time you say this man's a coot.
But not necessarily every time. But like, let's go half and half. Let's say 5 times it was the guy's fault, 5 times it was the girl's fault.
Let me tell you something. If you have good pussy, you're supposed to be able to keep one good pussy, good attitude. You're supposed to be able to keep one man for multiple
good pussy,
years.
the only thing that will
that's
care
why I
about
said good pussy, good attitude.
Talking to Mike.
Sorry, good pussy, good attitude. You're supposed to keep a man for more than one fucking year. I'm sorry.
Okay, so good pussy, good attitude
out of
is the
5
only
men,
thing.
you are supposed to be able to keep good pussy, good
Not
attitude.
if they're talking to guys like you, because you just want to kill and boogie.
This is a lie. Listen, babe, don't listen to these guys are liars. Babe, these guys are liars, man.
Yo,
I'm talking about my mentality.
Yo, this
Not
is
that
how I know the
actually
topic
do.
is
This
like
guy's
hot.
crazy. Listen to
At
me.
the beginning of the pod, you didn't want no alcohol to drink. You said, yo, give me a shot of the Hennessy.
There's no way. There is no way, okay, that a woman, you have a good attitude, you have great pussy, and you know you do traditional things, you know, that a man is going to leave you after 1 year. There's no way, even by default.
That has nothing to do with a man staying with a woman. Having great sex has nothing to do with a man being with a woman.
But that's good
Are
attitude.
you crazy?
Man said good
Good
attitude.
sex and good-looking women stay.
And
with
Men
attitude.
still leave.
Let me tell you something.
Men still leave.
Let me tell you.
What are you
I
talking about?
understand that, but
The percentage is not
but
as
they,
high.
no,
Yes,
they,
it is.
No,
No.
it's high. They leave, but good-looking women and good pussy women always have a year extension from the time that they were supposed to be.
According
gone.
to
According to
That's
everybody.
according to Wheeler's
Yeah,
metric.
buddy, I keep telling you that you're not a part of the sphere, man. Like you're,
No. Go
you're an
line
outlier.
up. Go line up with Andrew Tate,
Yeah,
Kevin
it's not even
Samuels,
Andrew Tate or
and
Kevin
those
Samuels.
nerd guys.
This is
Go line up
factual.
with.
I'm outside. I see it. I'm not lying.
Yeah,
to you.
you're experienced,
This is
bro.
like-
You're out there, bro.
I'm sorry.
You're out there.
No.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing factual about that.
What do you mean? There's nothing factual about that?
That's your perspective.
No, this is 100% factual.
Yes.
This is your thing doesn't count.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
You don't know about this. You have no
lead them
experience.
astray.
Yeah,
Okay.
bro.
You'll be out there.
Says
telling
that
them
deep
all kinds of
organic
crazy
fuckery.
stuff.
That's straight fuckery, bro.
What is straight fuckery about that?
Everything.
Anyway, body count matters.
And that's deep.
That's it.
That's it.
Yes, what you said, Chris, is right. Like when you put certain things into perspective, that's why I said earlier, like the number is not a thing to me, because if a number is stretched out over a long period of time, even though it might look like it's high, it's not really that high in the grand scheme of things. If you knocked out like a bunch of these guys in your early stages, and then over the next like you got to know about yourself and what you like and what you don't like, then you knocked out like a quick 5 or whatever it is, just because of young foolishness, no problem. But then when you get into the meats and potatoes of everything, like when you start to take it seriously, then that number, just say it was 8. You already knocked out the first 5 in like the first like 3 years, but over the next 10 years, you've only been with 3 men, just to say So that's why I really don't look at.
You guys need calculus for this.
No, it's
bro.
not calculus.
Like, what
It's
the
easy.
hell?
You're making
Like,
it sounds like calculus.
It's either
but
the numbers
really
matter or
easy.
not.
It's just
It's either it matters.
You are making it sound like calculus, but it's really easy.
You're making it sound like calculus.
Nobody takes a lot of time.
Anyways,
with this.
the topic to me is fuckery, and Linky said it's
Of
deep.
course it is. What did you think What did you think I thought you were gonna say? What did you think?
Well, okay. Can I go to my topic?
Beta males?
Yes, you may.
Go ahead. That's what you're gonna talk
There's no
about.
such thing as a beta male.
Yeah, there
Stop
is.
it. You're making shit up. Anyways, so
Let women do it.
okay. So there's a. Allow me to talk, please.
Please.
I can see it already.
Please. Just 1 minute. Please.
So there's a
Should we top up our drinks?
there's a psychologist.
Throw you this guy, man.
His name is Carl Jung. Carl Jung has this theory called a personality theory called, he's saying that everybody has a shadow, and the shadow is the dark side of the person, right? And he's saying that the best kind of personalities are the most integrated ones, which is when you're accepting your shadow, the dark side, right? And I was thinking about the youths them in Toronto, and this constant proclivity to go to violence. You know what I mean? Like, for example, DJ Drama got robbed last night. You know what I mean? And a man posted up the video, and it's going viral and all that. And people, it's viral. You know, it's something that people are attracted to. You know what I'm saying? And you could even look at, you know, the movies and the way people go to movies to watch serial killers and people shooting people and killing people. And it made me think about a question. Do you guys think that these youths are attracted to the violent side of things or the criminal side of things because society is really pushing them towards it? Because if I see that if I do certain kinds of things that I get traction, that's the kind of thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to avoid the kind of things that don't get traction. You know what I mean? So if I'm reading my books and getting good grades and I'm being called a nerd and I'm not the cool kid, why would I want to do that when I want to be cool? You know what I'm saying? And we talk about the violence in Toronto and the youths that are not listening and this and that. And I'm like, are we really contributing to it? You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I know we have Wheeler. Wheeler, he said he's outside. You know, he said that several times on the couch. You know what I mean? And I just want to hear your perspective on that. You know, the youths them in Toronto, the way they operate, do you think that we have society have a big role to play in that kind of stuff? You know, and I'm talking about specifically in the black community.
Yes.
We not think. Answer, Chris.
No, I'll say yes, and I'll use a very extreme example.
Yeah.
To sort of illustrate, I guess, like the societal pressure or something like that, right? So, in North Korea recently, or I don't know if this story happened recently, but I saw this recently. A 3-year-old was put in jail because they found a Bible in some family member's house. And in North Korea, if one person in the family commits a crime or what's deemed to be a crime, they lock up the whole family. Doesn't matter how old, how young you are. They lock up cousins, aunties, uncles, basically your whole lineage. And if it's egregious enough, sometimes they'll wipe out your whole lineage. They'll just kill you. They'll kill your whole lineage, right? So that's a very extreme example, right?
Yeah.
But like, is North Korea a violent country in terms of like the youth being violent? No, right? So
we wouldn't know. They don't let us in.
That's true, but
I don't even think there's room.
But I don't think so. I agree with you. I don't think so.
There's no room for that.
Take all the things that you know.
There's a high probability, very high probability that you don't have youths running around glorifying violence or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So to bring that back now to Toronto, like if we had, or not even just Toronto, but many places around the world, if we had, you know, some kind of thing where it's like your whole family would be shamed in some type of way, then like I don't think that people would be as drawn to violence and as drawn to fuckery and criminality as they are now. We live in a system, we live in a society, I should say, that rewards that in attention, that rewards that even in the biggest case, a podcast or a documentary about you, like, you know, look how much podcasts and we call it true crime and Netflix documentary about all these murderers and all this stuff.
Jeffrey Dahmer,
Exactly. And like, you know, that's like a reward to them. You know what I mean? Like if you get all this notoriety, like that's a reward. And I think that that's happening to our youth, especially as we live in a technological time where attention is the currency. Mm-hmm. So like if nobody cared about, you know, criminality, or nobody cared specifically about DJ Drama getting robbed or anybody else getting robbed for that matter, there wouldn't be such a incentive or such a motivation to post that thing online. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, you do something like that, like you're not posting about it. You're not going on your block before social media and being like, yo, guess what? Maybe amongst a couple guys here and there, but you're not going to strangers. You're not standing up at Dundas Square with a microphone and being like, guess what? I just did this, and this.
Yeah, but the question is, do you think that's why they're doing it? For their attention, or do you think they're just evil?
I think it adds to why they're doing it. I think for some people it is 100% why they're doing it, and for other people it's a smaller percentage than 100 on a sliding scale as to why they're doing it. Because I truly do think that like the attention that people are gaining from it,
yeah,
it is being received as a reward and being expressed as an incentive or motivation to go out and continue that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, what he said is, what Chris said is
Mike.
sorry. What Chris said is kind of right, for real. Like the currency of clout can be measured. Like the things that come from like doing stupid stuff nowadays is like it doesn't even make sense. I don't even know how like stupid people are being rewarded nowadays. Like these young boys will do things and then just go on the gram or wherever and tell on themselves, right? They're like, they are committing the crime and solving it for the police all in one stroke. It doesn't make no sense to me, but hey, it's generational. I guess before, when we were young, we did bare foolishness. Generation before us did bare foolishness, and each generation just can't believe that the next generation is so dumb. Like the generation before us thought we were stupid. We think these guys are stupid now, and then these guys are gonna think the next generation is stupid because everybody does something that the next generation wouldn't do. But your environment really does impact you, like when you're a young man. Like even if you're a nice guy and you really don't want to do certain things, but you're around some savages, you'll end up just doing some savage thing or get caught up in savage stuff, and then you'll be at like a crossroads, and there's not too many people on the next side saying to you, like, you know, on the good side, like, come over here.
Is that what happened to you?
No, I'm not a
asking,
bad
bro.
person. No, that's none of this happened to me. I'm not a bad boy.
It's just a
Nothing like
question,
that.
man. Just a question.
Okay, I'm not a bad boy. Nothing like that. I'm just a man that like, I'm a yard man. There's certain things that I just can't go for. Like,
But you have a temper.
I'm a defensive guy. Like, I don't bother you if you don't bother me. That kind of thing. But if you bother me, then I will activate.
And then the
But
rationality
outside of
goes through the
that,
window.
Rationale goes through but that's why you can't stop people from getting mad. That's why you'll always have murders. That's why you'll always have these. It doesn't matter how much you do. You cannot stop people from being mad and making impulse.
It's not the mad. It's not the mad. It's the action.
Yeah, the impulse.
A lot of people get mad.
Impulse, stupid decisions because you are not thinking straight when you're angry.
Some people are not thinking straight, but they're not as effective as some people.
Yes,
at hurting people.
I would.
Jesus
Hopefully, I'm glad that like in your world where you came from, everybody was the same thing. Linear,
I've heard people before.
down the line like this.
Nope, I'm not perfect. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is,
so then why are you talking like you're perfect? You know,
I'm
these
not
things.
talking like I'm
So then
perfect.
why
I'm just asking you a question.
Okay, no, you're not.
It's a
You're
question.
telling me about foolishness.
It's a question, brother.
You can't stop.
See,
people
this
from
is
getting mad.
what I'm talking about.
No, this is not what we're talking
See
about.
the energy? You can't sense it, but I can
You
sense
cannot
it.
say.
If I don't shut up real quick,
people from
it's gonna get to a certain point. You know what I mean? Like,
escalate real quickly.
yeah, it's gonna
All
escalate.
right, me personally, I think that
Thank you. Thank you. Because
I agree with you guys. You know what I mean? Not all the time, but most of the time, you're a product of your environment. You know what I mean? The percentage is very slim for you to go the right path. You know what I mean? When you grow in a certain neighborhood and certain environment. So, yep, you have a point there, big guy. It's well sharp.
But what can we do?
It's not a.
hard.
It's
It's a problem. It's a problem.
No, it's a
problem.
grassroots situation. You know what I mean? And this
Say more.
grassroots meaning that, as you said before, our time. You know what I mean? And certain things have to be put in place for the future generation. All right, I can give you a perfect example. Where I'm from, back then in the 80s, 90s, we used to do cricket, football, table tennis, basketball, like in the neighborhood. So every day, some form of sports play.
Portmore, right?
Waterford,
Okay.
right? Some form of sports are played. Right now, if you go there, what's up on Sunday alone football play. But you go, you know, see the man on the ends just chill out. You know what I mean? So the politician, for me personally, in my experience, they haven't really put anything in place where a little basketball court can do this, so football field there, so a little table tennis, netball for the ladies and stuff like that. It's a grassroots thing. More jobs now be created, more little things, you know what I mean? So if these kids now who grew up in my neighborhood, when them reach all 10, 11, they won't like to play ball on a Sunday or a Saturday when them go to school, them have fun. But when them come home and they in the neighborhood, them a look around. Nothing they have to do.
None.
More than if you probably will sit down bun one spliff or
Where did they learn that from?
learn what?
What you're describing?
What? Bun one spliff and something there?
Because a part of why you're right, the politicians are not doing enough, especially in Jamaica. But let's bring it to here, right? There are social community centers and all that. Kids are not interested in that. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of that mentality, these younger guys learned, as you said, environment, right? So the attention is one factor. There's also the socioeconomic conditions that are leading to these things, right?
Different reason that doing
No, I'm not even going into it. I'm just
Please
saying,
don't.
what can we do? I'm just focusing on
I think this
solutions.
is a bigger discussion for what we can do. I think we should try to get somebody that's a part of the that can make a difference on the pod one day.
Right, but you
think
see,
you
one
have
of the
that.
things that I think we should always try to do is to make a commitment to do different. Because having these conversations and they don't go anywhere and it doesn't change the
No,
attitude.
100%.
And if we can just at least make a commitment to, when you see the nonsense that's highlighted, to make a commitment to have a different approach. Because if you have a conversation and doesn't change your approach, if your approach is problematic, then the conversation was useless, right? And this is why I love to have these conversations, because it gives me perspective. And I hope it also gives the person I'm having a conversation with perspective also. And then with that, I'm hoping that people will see things differently.
What I feel like thinking.
No.
What did I do?
No, you
What did I
didn't
do?
do anything.
Nothing, bro. Like,
You
why
didn't
you
do
just,
nothing. I'm
you
just-
just always feel guilty like you do something.
Because you guys are making me feel guilty.
No, we like
Let me
thinking, but
tell you.
he's thinking.
Like, to affect change, you have to make it like the other side. To affect change, you have to like make the other side look sexy enough for me to like leave this side.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Basically, and women dictate a lot of what goes. I'm sorry, but women dictate a lot of like what.
Why are you
men
sorry?
do. You understand?
true.
Because it might seem like I'm just going like.
But
hard
you
on
were
those
doing that
things.
earlier. You weren't sorry.
Okay.
I'm just saying though.
But this is what I'm saying. Women dictate a lot what goes on like in like society and young men's lives too. If women do not like a certain type of thing, men pivot to what women like. If this side looks way more sexier. This side has the jewels, has the money, has the women, have the cars, have all of this kind of stuff. This other side doesn't look like that. So what am I gonna gravitate to as a young man that doesn't really know anything about like later on in life I'm gonna know about taxes, like a real adulting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for right now, in my most vulnerable years, where I'm kind of being molded, what looks the best? That other side, this side looks the best. The side that, like, yes, I would rather you be on, and later on in life when you realize I should have started on this side a long time ago, I would have been way ahead.
Right.
You have to find a way for this side to look sexy. You understand? To affect real change. This is what I think. It's not like
And how do we do that?
deep issues of like I honestly don't know. I don't have the answers. All I know is that I was a young man like that at one point, like outside and all of that kind of stuff. And I know that this side looks way sexier than that side. And I want to be on this side. Later on in life, you realize, yes, it might have looked sexy for the time being, but boy, did I waste a lot of time.
But what I'm saying is, so we can't, obviously, the grassroots effects that Linky's talking about, we don't really have some huge control over that. But what we have control over is the individualized approach, right? If we can commit as four black men here in Toronto, to whenever we see some idiot thing, we just kind of talk it down. You know what I mean? Trying to talk sense into the youth. I'm trying to. It might not go anywhere at that point, but you never know when it will register. You know what I mean?
You can talk. Let me tell you, this is what I learned. You can always like give them the lesson young, but they have to go through it in order to listen, and then they will come back to you and say, you know what, OG, I should have listened to you when it did. But talk. No, how many times you're a goody two shoes. How many times big people talk to you and yeah,
I don't like
they
that.
said some good things to you, but they're like, boy, I'm not even listening to that right now.
Right,
blah blah
right,
blah,
right,
and you
right.
just go do your own thing. Yes, they like big people talk to me, talk to you, talk to everybody, but you don't listen until you go through it, and then you're like, man, I should have listened.
I know that you're right, but what I'm saying is just kind of always do it. Be committed to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
So
but
deep
that's what
organic fucker.
You are battling your environment and
You're awake?
social media.
You're awake, brother?
Yeah, that's
Those aren't like that's Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro. Like you're trying to like.
but
know?
individually, that's where we have to start. You have to start somewhere, and this is why I always want to. Anyways, to wrap it up and to diagnose that topic, obviously I brought it up, so I'm thinking it's deep. You know what I mean?
It is deep. Very
No,
deep.
it is.
It's deep.
It
Where
is,
is it, Chris?
But it's
Very deep.
hard. It's like hard to like try to come up with a solution for that because you're battling.
Yeah.
You are battling entities.
It's not today.
No,
That's not gonna happen today.
Here's a solution that I know that like has measurable success. Meditation. And meditation at a young age. And so just the way that like, you sing the national anthem every morning, there should be a thing to also meditate every morning as well too, right after or before the national anthem in school. And so just looking at my phone at the organization is a great solution. And Director X and his partner Dell, business partner Dell, shout out. They have an organization called Operation Prefrontal Cortex, where they've been advocating to bring meditation into the schools and at as young an age as possible to because they've looked at studies and they've looked at other examples specifically around the United States where meditation has been brought into high crime and high violence neighborhoods through schools or community programs, and they've seen a measurable reduction in violence and in criminal activity, especially amongst the youth, right? So I think meditation has a lot of benefit that it can bring to help reduce it. Now, it's not going to eliminate everything because, we do need programs to give students more outlets and just to be able to occupy their time with just things that are more constructive. We do need that as well, too, for sure. But with the meditation gives a foundation of calm. So in the way that people are angry, but it's about how you react on that anger, right? And so if you can instill and build a foundation of calmness so that you're not necessarily acting in a destructive way on that anger, we, I think, have the opportunity to save a lot of kids and have the opportunity to really improve a lot of lives through that kind of methodology. You talked about Carl Jung talking about integrated with the shadow. In the meditation community, that's called shadow work, and that is a thing that is taught in the meditation and spiritual community, is doing the shadow work to really becoming one with that quote unquote bad or negative side of yourself. So a lot of adults are doing that now, and imagine if we had the opportunity to be able to do that and instill that into our youth through the school systems or through extracurricular activity in such a fundamental way as we do with singing the national anthem every morning. I think we could see a lot of really measurable improvements.
So that's the. So we're going to segue into the next one. Or wrap up?
Organic.
You have it organic?
I have my organic topic.
Let's get it in real quick.
So to end off on a fun note, on a light note, so we're getting at a time of year where a lot of the sports seasons are coming to an end. European football, basketball is coming to an end soon. Hockey's coming to an end soon. And so Manchester City just won the treble yesterday. Novak Djokovic just won 23rd Grand Slam this morning, becoming the most, on the men's side, the most Grand Slam wins. So it hit me. I was like, what's the best sports celebration? Because here's Novak Djokovic by himself. He just lays down on the court and just has a moment, and then Man City, the whole staff and everybody run onto the pitch and everything like that, and I was thinking back to the most amazing sports celebrations. So I'd love to hear from you guys about what's the most amazing championship celebration of any sport in any year that you can remember or you can think of, or you can answer it a little bit differently if you don't have the exact answer. What sport has the best championship celebration?
That's easy for me. LeBron James, 2016. Cleveland, this is for you.
Okay.
That's not a celebration.
I think
What is that then?
That's just saying Cleveland, this is for you.
It's a celebration, bro. What's wrong with you?
Hater.
Celebration
He's a hater, bro.
Celebration
I'm
would
an
be
MJ guy, and I can
celebration,
still say
but celebration would be like the
no. So championship celebration.
Okay, so
Championship
that's what
celebration.
they say.
that would be, I don't know, that would be. I hated that championship, by the way, just so you know. That hurt. That hurt my heart.
Cleveland, this is for you.
That hurt my heart. I hated it.
I love it.
I hate it. I think the one that stands out to me is when Italy won the World Cup, when the guy scored in extra time and he was just running and just like,
Oh yeah, Grosso.
was it Grosso?
Grosso, yeah.
I'm like, yo, the passion that you saw
Yeah.
in him, like I felt it. I was like, yo, that's dope.
Yeah.
What about you, Wheeler?
I think it's just a moment.
The Raptors?
No, it's a moment. That's like there's moments like every. Overall,
Are you
I
a
think
sports
the soccer.
person?
I think overall the soccer's crazy.
Are you a sports
Yeah,
person? by the way?
100%.
Okay.
Well, overall, the soccer's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. With a bunch of men on the stage, the confetti's going and everybody just jumping like this. I like when you win the championship.
Basketball do the same thing.
No, but it's just a different. It's everybody can do
different
the
for
same
you.
thing. It's
Yeah.
just different.
It's
So
on
you
the
like
field.
soccer better?
I like the way soccer goes, but
You don't even watch soccer, bro.
I know. But we're not talking about the game. I'm talking about the celebration.
That's called a pretender.
Anyways.
But that should tell you
Pretender.
something
No.
that he doesn't even really watch the game, but he
Pretender.
likes
I
the
told
celebration the
I've been watching
most.
Drogba the whole time in my youth. And then on the blue team. I don't
Drogba
even
does
know.
this.
Yeah, he does. He's wicked though. You're a hater.
No, he's here.
Strike.
He's here. I don't know.
Big
Maybe
strike. Big
maybe
strike.
it's here. I don't know. It's permed here. I don't know, man.
Let us
That-
get celebrated.
But yeah, soccer is wicked. But I think I like like the championship moments, and then if you win in that moment, what happens after that? Like Kevin Garnett screaming out like what he did. when
Anything is
Anything's
possible.
impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything is possible. That kind of stuff. Or when you're in college and everybody just you hit the game winning shot.
NCAA,
Mind
yeah,
you,
yeah.
the Villanova where he hit the game winning shot. Everybody floods the table,
Yeah.
floods the
Think
court
he was
while you
nice
jump
too,
on the
too, in the
table
Major
like
League
this is
Baseball.
my like Dwayne Wade when he hit the game winning shot. Whatever.
Right,
it is.
right.
Doesn't matter. I like moments like I like that, and then the celebration starts. That's
Championship.
What,
Champion.
championship celebrations. I love
But what
that.
about
like in that moment?
Oh my God! Listen. So you got our answers?
Who's that?
I got your answers.
What's
My-
Kobe?
Mine.
Kobe and MJ?
I have two. Actually, I have three that stick out to me, and they're different sports. So in football, soccer, it was
Why you say football like that?
No, because he's gonna mix.
because
the
I'm putting a
words.
little
Yeah.
on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 2001, and Italian fans to bring up Italians, well, specifically Roma fans will remember this. When Roma won the Italian league for the first time in their history, that was madness. And if you guys have a chance to look at this at YouTube, and you guys at home have a chance to look at this at YouTube, research or look up Roma 3-1 win against Parma 2001 to win Serie A, because that match was madness. So first of all, Roma has some of the craziest fans in Italy, and they had to stop the match 3 times because about 10 minutes and 5 minutes before the end of the match, the fans just ran onto the pitch and started stripping the players and started taking. They're like, "Give me that jersey, give me that shorts, give me that boots." And I remember, so they had to stop the match. They went into the locker room. They put on their spare jerseys and went back on the field, continued the match. And then the fans ran on the pitch again and was like, "Yo, give me the jersey, give me." And I remember, I think like either Francesco Totti or Gabriel Batistuta had to finish the game in their underwear. They had a shirt on and they finished the game in their underwear because there was about 5 minutes left or something like
Nah,
that.
I don't remember that.
Gigi Buffon was Parma's goalkeeper at that time, and I remember, even though he's the opposition player, Gigi Buffon is still the Italian goalkeeper. They took his stuff as well too. I remember he didn't have gloves to finish the match, and I think he put on like a spare T-shirt or something to put on to finish the match. And it was so chaotic that So that second time when they got all the fans off the pitch, so Roma play in a stadium where there's a track around the field, right? So usually the fans are kind of far away, and it was just so chaotic that when they removed the fans off the field, all the fans were just standing beside the field because they were like, you're not gonna go back to your seats, just get off the field, like, you know, like be outside the lines, right? And so they're all standing at the edge of the field, and then as soon as the final whistle went on, like there's like fire all over the stadium, flares, fire, flags, and everybody runs onto the pitch. It was the first time that I had seen, because I think I was about like 14 at the time. It was the first time that I had seen a celebration that crazy. And not to say that was the first time in history it's happened, but it was the first time that I'd seen that. And I was like, wow, this is insane. I've never seen anything like this before. These Roma fans are nuts. So that's my first one. My second one was Michael Jordan Father's Day game. When I remember when they finished, they beat Seattle. I think it was that 93 or 92 when they beat Seattle?
Well,
I don't remember.
Okay, so 93, 92, when Michael Jordan just grabbed the ball and he didn't let nobody have the ball, and he was just on the ground and he was just crying and like crying. And like I think like Dennis Rodman like tried to like jump on top of him and like I don't know what the hell he was saying to him, but then like was kind of like fighting him off type of thing. And then he went to the locker room and just like lied down on the floor with the ball. Yeah, that was like. I think it was like it was the year his father died, I believe. Yeah, and his first Father's Day without his father, and like that I always periodically I go back to that celebration because it was just like there's just something in that, you know what I mean? And like there's something really deep in that. And I don't have a great relationship with my dad, so like I sort of envy when men, especially black men, have great relationships with their fathers. So from time to time, every so often, every few years, I'll go and just watch that celebration. You know what I mean? Because like it's an amazing celebration to me. And then my third choice would be Sidney Crosby's golden goal to win the 2010 Olympics against the United States in Vancouver. Sidney Crosby scored the game-winning goal against the United States. Or Canada was up 2-0. United States came back 2-2. They scored with like 10 seconds left in the third period to send it to overtime. And then
I remember that.
And then Sidney Crosby scored the game-winning goal. And like I remember just like everybody just going crazy, and like people at Dundas Square were just like going mad and everything like that. It was almost like the Raptors celebration.
Can you play hockey?
Say again?
Can you play hockey?
Can I play? I can't even skate.
Ow!
Oh boy,
'Cause I can't skate.
Chris, that's a beautiful celebration.
Yeah, man, that celebration, that and here's a story just to wrap it up.
I can't skate. What's the problem?
Yes.
Yo, let the man wrap up the segment. Yo,
So what?
You're a Canadian citizen.
So what?
You're supposed to not escape. It's like
That'll be the next topic.
all right. So, Deep.Organic.Phuckery. Wheeler.
yes, sir.
Why I want to know, you are the only man who can keep big guy on him toes. You know what I mean? You keep big guys on them toes. You know what I mean?
On my toes,
Pause.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
what? On my toes.
Here, Linky goes talking about toes again.
Yeah, like
Nothing
what
wrong
are
with
you
toes.
talking
All
about?
right, I
I'm
got
a guy
I
that
got
likes
my
toes,
toes,
eh?
bro. Like,
You know what? You like toes?
No, I like to.
All right. What we
Women
should-
have to
Oh
have
my
nice.
God.
God, listen.
100%. You have to have
This
nice
this
feet.
this
Feet is a deal
conclusion
breaker for
of
me.
Episode
4.
Yeah.
Episode 4. Make sure you guys open the
No.
door.
Share, subscribe. What about that?
I was about to say that, my brother. But
You
tell
know
them.
we need to say
Tell
that
them.
more often.
Tell them, though. Tell them.
Please share.
Yes.
Subscribe,
Yes.
like, and comments.
Yeah.
In the comment section at the
Yeah.
bottom. Just say some
there?
stuff. If you disagree
At the
with
where?
me, if you disagree at the bottom.
Okay. All right.
What do
Let's
you
check
mean?
it.
Or is that a pause?
Tell us how
That's
much
not a
you
pause.
disagree with Damion.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you disagree with me, I'm okay with it.
Yes.
I'm fine. Trust me, I won't cry.
Yes. Subscribe. So you know what it is? It's another episode in the books.
Say what you're saying.
Deep.Organic.Phuckery, episode 4. Wheeler, want to say something before we go?
How are feet not a deal breaker though? I don't know.
Oh my God, that's not the next one.
To
See
be
you later.
continued.
See you later.
Excellent. Next time.
Breaker on-